In the land of Saint-Hubert and Poulet-Frit, Kentucky, language wars have returned.
The language debate is once again causing problems in Longueuil. This time it stems from the bulldozing of a flower bed that used to spell out Greenfield Park. It appears tensions over language are escalating in Greenfield Park once again.
A war of words is heating up in a Montreal suburb over the use of English in council chambers.
Well, the language war at Longueuil City Hall continues. Several weeks ago, Mayor Caroline Saint-Hilaire wrote on Facebook that Councillor Robert Miles' use of both English and French in council meetings was, quote, irritating. Controversy over which language is allowed at Longueuil City Hall is brewing. The debate is centered on the use of English at council meetings.
Leave it to the small-mindedness of the Bloc Québécois to hold a meeting to ratify Gilles Duceppe as leader on Canada Day.
That we want to have and enjoy our own country.
I want to go to another aspect of your democratic reform package that you've promised to bring in if you form government, and that is the idea that in future all Supreme Court justices must be bilingual. So let me sketch out this scenario for you. Let's say that there is the brightest legal mind in the country and she happens to live in Newfoundland, but she doesn't speak French. So are you telling me that she would be rejected to sit on the Supreme Court simply because she doesn't speak French?
It's official. The Couillard government will tighten Bill 101. Quebec will force retailers to add French descriptions to their logos and signs.
Lily Ryan's Pontiac Journal used to be a completely bilingual paper, but some of the ads were in English only, and that didn't fly with Quebec's language police.
Good evening. It is the one place where we all expect to get service, whatever our religion, culture, or language of preference might be, a hospital. Yet a patient at Verdun Hospital who was rushed to the ER in an ambulance says when it came time to be treated, she was escorted out by security instead. And it all started, she says, because she couldn't understand French.
Boy is the latest victim of Quebec's language laws. An Anjou man wanted to buy the talking tiger for his daughter. It was in stock at a Montreal toy store, but the man was told he couldn't buy it because the tiger only speaks English.
Right now, Francophone and Anglophone schools use separate buses.
A social media backlash may have saved pasta's place on the menu in Quebec, but if you thought this was the last word in the province's language fight, think again. Turns out plenty of other restaurants say their menus have become targets too.
It's been a massive exodus. In 20 years, 300,000 English-speaking people have left Montreal, left Quebec. It's one of the great migrations of Canadian history.
Well, a woman working for a Quebec fast food chain says her manager humiliated her for speaking English at work. When she showed up for work at the Valentine restaurant in Deux Montagnes on Saturday, there was a note with her name posted on a bulletin board. It said employees should only speak to each other in French. Language tensions are brewing at Montreal's Sacré-Cœur Hospital tonight. Earlier this week, it sent out a letter to employees after receiving complaints about English on its premises.
Moving now to Quebec's capital city, the Parti Québécois has made a formal request to remove the Canadian flag from the legislature.
We go together like toast and pate, like racism and ignorance.
Quebec's plan to eliminate a layer of the healthcare bureaucracy under Bill 10 is causing a stir, especially in some Anglophone healthcare and social service institutions. They worry they'll be lost under the new system and that Bill 10 could be a catastrophe for Quebec Anglos.
I thought it was a mistake when I first typed it in.
Candace Taylor fears she's being left out of the political process. The Quebecer who's lived in the same house for almost 20 years is suddenly off the Quebec electoral list.
Ever since Bill 101 was passed into law, English public schools in Quebec have been bleeding students.
4 decades ago, there were more than 174,000 students in English schools in Quebec. Today, less than half of that, and the trend continues.
Hey! There's not going to be any fight without Scott Riles and the incredibly polite Canadian news team.
Yeah! What about the French-speaking Quebec news? The real voice of Canada.
Give it a rest, eh?